Hey guys, this is Rock King 3 bringing another live commentary, Forza 5. This is going to be part of the King of the Road series, and today I am racing a S-Class Z06 that is built by SASH. So I have ran actually a few laps with this already. Just want to try to get an early feel for it. And what I'm kind of struggling with in this car is traction. So I am trying to do really good throttle control with this car, but it must have just a ton of horsepower. Third gear is really not an option in this car. So I'm trying to use fourth gear a lot on some of the turns, because third gear just automatically pitches them sideways. Now, one thing I'm not sure, Sash didn't tell me whether he uses traction control or not. So what I think I might do is run a few laps. I might run the full 10 laps without traction control, and then I might run a few more laps with traction control, just to see if I can really improve the lap times. So I have a feeling this thing just has a ton of horsepower and maybe not quite enough tire for the horsepower. I mean, I'm not saying I'm the best driver in the world either, but this is challenging for me. In my practice runs, I think I put it in about the 2,000 place range. It looks like I'm racing a Corvette. This is definitely a speed Corvette. Man, I'm just trying to tiptoe around that corner so I don't lose the back end again. What I've been doing is using fourth gear through here. And I can still spin, you can see I can still spin the tires. The car isn't quite straight. Straight. There we go. Okay, so we improved our time. That's good. We'll leave it in fourth this time here. Still accelerates in fourth gear pretty well. You can see on the right where my gas pedal's at. I'm doing a lot of work over there. Looks like we've improved our time again. Looks like I'm getting better with it. Kind of feathering around that turn as well. Straighten her out. Go. Let's shift early here. There we go. Not bad. Maybe we're just really getting the tires warmed up too. And we're still a second ahead, so that's really good. It does brake really well. I do like the brakes on it. I probably overbrake a little bit just because I'm so worried about going into the corner too fast. Straight. Nope, no. Gotta be really careful. Make sure that car is straight before you hammer it. Yeah, we lost a lot of time there. Darn it. If I can get a miracle lap put together, I might be able to put a pretty good time just because it's so quick. Alright, coming up on the finish line here, I'm going to snap away from that, and we'll come back at the end of 11 laps so you can see what our final time is. Alright, we'll see you then. And we're back, and I'm on the last lap of Sash's Corvette, and you can see I ended up improving it by a couple of seconds. So what I've had to do is really make sure that I do not lose traction in this car. You're going to see I'm going to try to drive it as smooth as possible. This car just has so much horsepower, you just cannot put gas into it. Looks like I'm staying in fourth there. Just try to get that car pointed and hit the gas. Fourth gear is really good in this car. Third gear spins the tires a lot, so unless you're really, really soft with them. I'm going to stay in fourth around here. Still see I'm losing the tires. Straighten out. There we go. Slid around that turn a little bit. Staying in fifth right around in here too, because fourth gear just, you have a lot of turning and gas, so fourth gear does not play very well. I did pretty good on one lap, and then I've had a couple that were really close to it, but I have been really inconsistent depending on kind of how I hit a turn or like that. If I slide them out too much, every time I do that I lose like about a half a second. Pushing it kind of hard. I've kept it in fifth gear around that turn too. But like even through this slow area, you see I'm going to stay in fourth. The only time I'm going to hit the gas is when the car is going in one direction. There we go. Alright, and there's our 10th lap. Oh, that wasn't our 10th lap. That's our halfway point. I get confused because that's like the finish line for the other one. Oh no, that was it. Yep, that's 12th lap. Okay. So 207, 062 is the best I could do. I'm actually going to run a few laps with the traction control on, just see if I can handle it a little bit better. Alright, we'll see you in the next one. Been trying to get it to stay as flat as possible. But every time I get into it, it just breaks loose. So I'm trying to go slower as faster, but it is still really difficult with this car. Doing the same kind of tricks, using the lower RPMs, not to turn the wheels over. Coming out of a turn. You see, in fifth gear, I have a hard time keeping the tires on the ground. I didn't change the paint job at all, so it's exactly the same. I geared it a little bit differently so that the gears are a little bit shorter, a little bit closer together. So that way my low RPM isn't quite as low as it was. Yeah, cannot get the tires hooked up again. I'll stay in fourth through here until I get out. The tires are all broken loose there. This is a lot of work. You just try to get the car as straight as you can, as soon as you can, so you can accelerate out of it. Cars look really even. I know the cars aren't built the same. I know SASH put a different engine in it. So I just used the one car, so I saw a couple of the parts that he used. But we're definitely using different engines. But I think the horsepower and the acceleration are really close anyway. But man, you just have to drive it as smooth as you can. There we go. Didn't lock them up that time. That's good. A little wide. That's going to make this next right here hard. Hopefully I have it straightened out. Yeah, so far, so good. Man, you even have it pointed just a little bit out of direction and you struggle. This could be the lap. Tiptoe, tiptoe. Woo! That was close. We'll say these cars are very, very comparable. I have a feeling they're built really similarly, because even at this PI you have the race tires on. I mean, you're not sacrificing tires or anything, so you are... Oh, that's right, he's not on the track with me. Alright, well I did win, so let's go ahead and end that now. We'll go to the parts bin, and I'll show you the parts I have on this car and the tune. See you there. Alright, and we're back. I'm going to make this as quick as possible because I think this video is going to get a little bit long. I did stay with the stock engine, and of course we did not change the drivetrain. I went with the twin turbo on this one to get the horsepower up and to make sure that that torque line didn't drop very fast. You're going to see that I have a lot of race components on here. So I have the race intake, race fuel system, race ignition, race exhaust, and I have the sport cams and valves that raise the RPM range. I have the race, what did I just say? Race valves? Yeah, race valves. And I have the sport engine block. And I have stock pistons and compression. I have the race twin turbo that gave us 98 horsepower. I have the race intercooler, as again a horsepower play. And I have the stock oil and cooling. And I had the street flywheel, and that was just to fill one more PI. I had $7.99. Just gonna go through these real quick. I have the race brake, race springs, race front and rear anti-roll bar, full roll cage, and full weight reduction. Sorry if I'm going too fast for everybody. I have the stock clutch. I have the race transmission. And I have the race drive line, again to get the weight off so I can get the 800, and the race differential. I'm going to go to the tires, where I'm going to have the race tires, the race compound. I'm going to have the full width, upgraded front width, tire width, and I'm going to have the full rear tire width as well. Went with the lightest wheel that I know of, and I just took it off, so it's that one right there. And I lost all my tire compounds. There we go. I lost all the width is what I lost by accidentally putting the stock wheels back on. Alright, so I got those rims on, and I went with the most upgraded tires, rim size. Alright, we have the front and the rear Forza wings. We have those adjustable. Let's go through the tune. This is actually really close to my Z01. It's in this class as well. 27.5 both front and rear. Gearing I put at 365. That was to gain a little bit more acceleration. And I think with the other one I was getting only to 5th gear, so that one I wanted to get the 6th. I have a negative front 2.1 and negative 1.7 rear camber. 0 and 0 I added a 0.2 just to try to flatten it out a little bit. It doesn't seem to help, so it really doesn't matter what number that's at. And I have the 7.0 front caster angle. Went very extreme with the anti-roll bars. Again, just like my other Z71, I went 40 in the front and 1 in the rear for the anti-roll bars, and then I kind of counterbalanced that by going opposite, and I had them almost half. I wanted to get right at half, but it didn't handle quite as well. So I was at 563.5 in the front, 994.8 in the rear. Didn't really care about the ride height, so that's just stock. Front rebound I have at 9.1, rear is 8.0, front bump stiffness is 4.7, and the rear is 4.1. Full aero front and back. My standard braking force, you could probably play with that a little bit. I think you could actually get down closer to 50. I locked them up a couple times at this brake balance, but 53, 140, I'd consider going down on that. Then front acceleration, or sorry, rear acceleration is 23 and deceleration is 0. So that would be my tune. I ended up winning the challenge. It took me a couple laps. Both these cars were pretty similar. They're both really hard to control, and I just happened to get a little bit better time with my own. So I don't think there's going to be a great deal of difference here. So I think SASH did a really good job setting up his car. I think overall it's just a really hard car to drive. Traction control might make it better, but I tried to stay away from that. I did run his car with traction control on. I did actually beat the time, but I wasn't able to keep it clean while I did that. So if you guys take this tune down, you can drive it easier with the traction control, but you can actually get just as quick a time without it. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. We'll catch you in the next one.